some algebra application, solving equations, still using those same properties. So again, you're going to be given parallel lines. They're trying to let you know that because I see those arrows, the horizontal lines are parallel, which means this line would have to be the transversal. Again, only when they're parallel can you use the color pattern. So if you want to highlight those angles that are congruent to each other, you can. That might help with your setup. So on 31, they want us to focus on angle 2 and angle 7. Angle 2 and angle 7. If I look at those are alternate exterior angles. And when we have parallel lines, alternate exterior angles are congruent. Excuse me. So that lets me know that angle 2 is going to equal angle 7. So now I can just substitute the expression for each. Instead of putting angle 2, I'm going to put this 4x minus 7 here. And it's going to equal angle 7, which was the 3x plus 4. We're going to move the smallest variable whenever we have variables on both sides. So I'm going to subtract the 3x. That leaves me with x minus 7 equals 4. And then to isolate the x term, you would have to add 7. I know I kind of ran out of room here. So x is going to equal 11. Then they want us to find angle 5. Hopefully you see angle 5 has the same color. Oh no, it doesn't have the same color, sorry. So angle 5 and angle 7 are linear pair, or angle 5 and angle 2 have different colors here. So anytime we have different colors, they're going to be supplementary. So to get angle 5, I would have to do 180 minus whatever the measure of angle 7 is. So to find the measure of angle 7, we're plugging in our value for x, because we had 3x plus 4. So we're doing 3 parentheses. And inside the parentheses that represents the x is the value we got, which was 11. So we have 33 plus the 4, and we end up with 37. So we're going to take 180 minus that 37. So this is now going to be 37. And that's going to give me 143. Now, down here, for angle 4 and 6, I look back up here at this diagram. 4 and 6, again, have different colors, which means they're supplementary. So my angle 4 plus my angle 6 is going to equal 180. So that helps me with my setup, because my equation should be 6x plus 12, then plus the 10x minus 8 equals 180. And then this would be simplified as 16x plus 4 equals 180. We're going to subtract the 4 from both sides to isolate the 16x term. So this really becomes 16x equals 6. And then we just need to divide it by 16. And so our x is 11, which is the first thing they're asking us to find. They also want us to find the measure of angle 1. Now look at angle 1. Angle 1 and 4 are the same color, so they're congruent. They're vertical each other. So I know whatever angle 1 is going to equal whatever angle 4 is. So all I need to do is plug it into angle 4, which was that 6x plus 12, which means I'm doing 6 parentheses plus 12. And inside, I'm plugging in that 11 for that 12. For the x, because that's what our x came out to be. So we have 66 plus 12, which comes out to be 78. And then our last section is talking about proving lines are parallel. This is the last little unit we did, or concept that we did before the review. You need to remember there are 5 ways to prove parallel. Alternate interior angles theorem, alternate exterior, corresponding angles Postulate, same sign interior. That's the same thing as consecutive interior. And same side exterior. SSD is just same side exterior. That's the same thing as consecutive. What we need to remember is that these three, anything alternate and corresponding, C, are congruent. So I'm looking for congruent relationships. Same side interior and same side exterior, these are the ones that are supplementary, which means I need to have them equal to 180. So all we're going to do on this section is determine which lines, if any, are parallel, and then state the converse. I just need to state one of the 5 ways. So if I look, they want us to focus on angle 8 and angle 20 being congruent. To identify the parallel lines, I think it's helpful to first recognize which line would be the transversal. That's the line they have in common. So N is the transversal. Then make the relationship compared to that line. So 8 and 12 are on opposite sides of the transversal, and they are in between the X and the Y. So that means X would be parallel, I said XY, I mean XZ. X has to be parallel to Z using alternate interior angle theorem. And we're using basically the converse of that. Now on C, they want us to look at angle 3 and angle 10 being a sum of 180. So if 3 and 10 comes into place, then now M is the transversal, because that's the line they have in common, which would mean that X would have to be parallel to Y using same side interior, because they equal 180, which is what I need for same side interior. So hopefully we can complete something like this, because these are kind of similar to what we did on the notes the other day and on your homework too. There is a possibility for you to have none or does not exist. Like if I'm looking at H where it talks about 8 and 18. So if I'm focusing on angle 8 and angle 18, which is over here, they do not have a line in common. So if they do not even have a transversal, the answer is does not exist, or you can say none, because there's no transversal. So either it's showing a true relationship, the ones that are actually congruent, one of these three, or the ones that are supplementary equal to 180 has to be either these two types, or it does not exist. It's none. Now the last part here, they're telling us that the lines are parallel. So knowing they're parallel, we're trying to figure out the value of X to make it true. So we're just solving for X like we did with the algebra problems. This angle represents the 14X minus 25 and 129. It's right there. What we have as our converse, we are seeing hopefully alternate interior angles. And if we have alternate interior angles, they are congruent, which lets me set this up as 14X minus 25 is equal to 129. And we're going to solve for X by adding the 25 to both sides to isolate that 14X. We get 14X is now equal to, that is not right. Oops, sorry. 104. Is that right? Oh, plus 154. I was subtracting. That's wrong. So 154 and then divided by 14. And so X equals 11. And that's all we want here. Alright guys, so basically what I'm going to do is I will post a key that you can, on Teams, that you can check my key with and your answers work. I'm also going to post a Quizlet to help you study. So Besides this, I'm gonna also do a Quizlet, so just check that on Teams to help you prepare. Test is on Thursday. All right, thanks. Where's my recording? There it is.